morning, everybody, and welcome in. Today, we're going to talk about crafting your personal mission statement. In the prior weeks of today, we have had a week all about your core values. Good morning, Farm Girl. Glad that you're in here. I hope that you're having the start of a good week. After last week, on week 4, we were talking about our purpose and vision and where we're going. And prior to that, the week before, we were talking about, good morning, Brian. We were talking about our core values and what truly matters to us. These are the things, good morning, Florida, do. I'm glad that you're here this morning. Today, we're talking about week 5 of a 12-week course that it's free right here on TikTok. I don't ask for anything. Just if it's something that you're interested in, you can just listen to us. So we're going to lead up to why this week we're going to craft our personal mission statement, which is going to be based on our core principles, which was one of our weeks, our purpose, which was one of our weeks, our vision and our strengths, which was one of our weeks, through self-reflection. And our purpose is to guide yourself with clarity. Those are the things. So if you think back to where we were just weeks ago, we were waking up from autopilot, that feeling of dread. Your life might be overwhelming. You feel like you don't have a control, or you feel that life is living you and you're not living life. That's what today's mission is going to be about. I'm going to help you craft your personal mission statement and how we're going to write it. I see myself here. I'd like to be this, but this is all on my little board right here. Our mission statement is going to be a declaration of our core values, which we talked about in, I think, week 3 or 4, week 3, and of what truly matters to you. Intentional living is built on clear values, right? Our purpose in life, our goals, and this is going to be a compass that guides us with clarity, so we can intentionally live the life that we want to live. When you're writing a statement, a mission statement, for example, my business has a mission statement, and that's to serve people who allows us to serve them in a way that it maintains a relationship. And no matter what kind of relationship that we're in, the most important relationship you'll ever have in your life is the relationship with yourself. And why is that important? Is because the relationship with yourself is what's going to help weave your personal mission statement that I hope that you write today. And I would like to have you really think and do some self-reflection on what values that matter. Are there some words that resonate with you when we were talking about values and what our core values were a couple of weeks ago? Honest, integrity, being authentic, living a life that feels like your authenticity. If you're a person who's generally wound up and relaxed, but you find yourself in some chaos, then you would want your mission to include things and have activities that promote you being relaxed, being in charge of when you say yes to what you say yes to. We don't have to be everybody's pleaser and people pleaser. What comes first, and you notice right there above me, craft your personal mission statement. That doesn't include, I'm going to do this, I'm going to volunteer here, I'm going to do that. Unless that's what gives you vitality in your life. Volunteering, places where that you feel you're authentic, where you're being yourself, where you're not looking at the clock to get out of here. I wish I wouldn't have got into this today. I wish I didn't have these plans this weekend. These are all things where your body's nudging you and just saying, hey there, hey, this isn't for us. This isn't where I want to be. So our bodies always tell us and our minds always tell us. And when you find yourself feeling like your time off doesn't give you rest, if you feel like overnight that you slept or your mind was running, journaling, writing things down and reading it is the beginning of a journey that's going to have some great side effects. And last week, I talked about some of these side effects that come with journaling, better sleep, a better grip on your life, a better sense of purpose, a better sense of who you are, how you want to be, and how you want to act. How often are you thinking about that? When you need spirituality in your life, you make yourself a priority and what it needs, what your essentials are for yourself in your life. Only you know what your essentials are. And when I talk about essentials, I'm not talking about the basics, your autopilot of what you're getting. This is my house, this is my rent, this is my job. But who you are, and in return, what benefits that you're going to give yourself for following along after you craft your personal mission statement through your principles and through the way that you want to live, giving yourself the input to keep you authentic in life and to keep you going in the direction that you want to. So a concise declaration of your core values would be to think about things that resonate with you, to think about what you want to feel about yourself and what you would like others to notice about you. Sometimes in such a journey, to delve right in, our subconscious is going to start screwing with you right off of the bat. This isn't for you. I can't do this. I can't run this core value. Man, I really don't have the time to journal. All of this sounds really good, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it because these are our old fears and everything that's in our life that keeps us from stepping forward, to take us out of our comfort zone. But you know what the cool part is, and science says this, and it's a fact. The cool part is that when you start living authentically and you start crafting the way that you want to live and the way that you want to think, and start repeating and finding negative thoughts and challenging them, over time, your subconscious will do it without you knowing it. That's right. It'll take over. It will go on autopilot the way you want it to be on autopilot. It'll let you know that you're okay. It'll let you know that you're comfort. It'll let you know that you deserve your rest. It'll let you know that you deserve authenticity and you deserve tranquility and peace in your life. Doing the work is what you get out of it. When you put the work into your life and you put effort into your life and you put effort into journaling and you follow these easy steps and you think about what we've talked about in this journey together on the 12 weeks, a lot of the same people always come in here. And I don't care if there's 10, 12, 80, 93 people in here. I'll be here every week and I'll explain these things to you. And I want you to know that the number one topic in your life should be yourself, should be your mental clarity and your purpose of life. And it's not too late to start the change. And you'll feel the change happen. As a matter of fact, if you do some of the prompts that I talk about, and you're doing the work, and you're journaling, and you write a personal mission statement that you put somewhere in your house, maybe it's the screensaver on your phone, and you start reading it. And you start reading it every day. And you can ask yourself at the end of the night, where did I not follow what I wanted? What happened today that wasn't where I want to be? Did I react to something? Did I judge somebody? Did I do something that's really out of the character that I want to be? And that my old self, my unaware autopilot self, made fun of somebody, beat myself up, bullied myself up? These are the areas that keep us clear, and this is what keeps us on track. My story about the first rocket that ever went to outer space, believe me, the first 100 of them crashed. Finally, one goes up there and it comes back, and now it goes back and forth. The purpose of this is to craft your personal mission statement, is to become the best self that you can be. The best of you will all come out when you do this right here, when you craft your personal mission statement, your core values and your principles. That's the first part of it. What are they? What is your purpose? What is your vision? What are your strengths? Self-reflect. My purpose is to, my purpose in life is to run my business, take care of my family, feel the love from my dog, pay attention to what my essentials are. And this will help you guide yourself with clarity, all with clarity. And when you have clarity, then you have a compass. You already have a bag of tricks in your life because you're consciously aware that life's going to trip you up. So we're going to stay resilient. And you can turn this vision into a statement, which is your personal statement of how you would like to live your life. Good morning, Norma. I'm glad that you're in here, and I'm glad everybody's in here. So let's get started. Today we're on week 5. My name's Ray. I actually, for a living, do construction. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a therapist. Somebody who, through journaling, has discovered a better way to live, a better way to think, and to overcome some of my personal obstacles that I have, where I once allowed my feelings and some of my reactions to, at light speed, get in front of reasoning. Some of my emotions and my feelings I would let out. And my emotions and feelings I would let out was because I had a lot of uncured issues in my life. And we can all talk about that with ourselves. And the purpose now of my life is to give back some of the things that I've learned, take care of my family, my dog, and also share with you the blessings a personal crafted mission statement can come into your life through journaling, through paying attention to being authentic, to cooking yourself your favorite meal, to having a good cup of coffee, and then taking the time to live outside of your head sometimes, to live outside of your mind, to go to a place that shows some creation and some beauty in your life that you can enjoy. And it starts with waking up, journaling. It starts with gratitude. It starts with feeling good about yourself and thinking about the accomplishments. Sometimes thinking about the mountains that you've already climbed. When you look back in your life, there's been obstacles there. But sometimes what we worried about the most didn't amount to anything. And this is where chronic worrying comes in, habitual mind behavior, where we always think that there's going to be an obstacle, where we always think that we have something to dread. I would think the only thing that you have to dread is living life without a compass and to live life without clarity to know where you are in life. And it's important to get in touch with ourselves, to make friends with ourselves, to find where we don't belong, and to tackle our fears. And we tackle our fears by journaling, thinking about the things in our life that are unnecessary that happen anyway, where we've unintentionally put harm into our life that does intentional harm. These are some things in our life that we've become complacent with, where we're just putting up with it because we think that we have to. Your life should be an incline, getting better every day, and you should be able to coast into it with reason, with thought, and with prayer. Your personal mission statement is going to be a concise declaration of your values, how you live, where you feel authentic, what you agree that you will do in your life, where you agree where you belong in life. These are all things what you agree on. That's the thing about a personal mission statement, is that it's all personal. It's all about you. And the thing is, nobody in your life's going to make you special, but you can make yourself special. You can do, good morning, patients. I'm glad you're in here. You can make yourself special by crafting a personal mission statement and evaluating your core values, looking at and brainstorming, and just being authentic to yourself and what you write, and what you write about yourself, and how you're going to manage going forward. And how you manage going forward is with the statement that you're going to make. So, how do we write one? Well, that's pretty easy. First, we're going to review what we talked about right here the last few weeks, what we feel our life purpose is. Just write that down. What we feel is most important to us, our core. What we feel is essential into our lives. What part of our love that we want to give to others? Is it a relationship that's important to you? Is family important to you? Is always having an open door policy for anyone that needs to talk important to you? But before you think of the external things, it's going to start with your core values right here. Your core values and your principle. That's number one on the list. And then number two on your list is going to be your purpose. What impact do you want to have on a daily basis? That's what I mean by purpose. Your purpose is something or an action or a thought that puts out impact on people. When you say something to somebody, whether it's a compliment or mean, that has an impact on them. Just like when you think something about yourself, that has an impact on you. And we all tell our things that are not factual, right? So being in line and doing some self-reflection on these two right here, on your core principles and your purpose and impact. But most importantly, what's your vision and what are the strengths that you have through self-reflection? This is where journaling comes in. This is where we journal and we write down what we feel our strengths are. And when you look up strengths or go to synonyms that are, I think that's what it's called, words on like it, where does it resonate? Are you strength like you're strong? Are you strong because you're always there for others? Do you feel no in your gut when somebody needs to be listened to without you talking? Where you can just absorb what they're saying so you can be a soundboard for them? So your personal mission statement is going to be a declaration of your core values, your purpose, and your goals. It serves for you as a personal compass. Here's the best part of it. It can be changed on a daily basis. Good morning, boy. Good to see you. I hope you're busy working. So it serves you so you can change it. You're the writer of this. You're the person who writes, directs, and produces your life through the crafting your personal mission statement. And it can change. As we get older, things change. As we get older, some of our essentials change of what's important to us. There might be more doctor's appointments. There might be more things in your life that are crucial just for your survival. But, most importantly, you want to have a survival that has really good mind elements to it. So when you're doing your purpose of why you exist, what impact would you like to make? That's important. And when you journal about it and you keep this mission statement, it can just be one paragraph. I would like to live a more honest life, full of authenticity, where I feel comfortable in every situation I go into. So let's put it this way. There's 3 coffee shops that you can go to. And you go to all 3 of them sometimes. This one has good coffee, but you don't like the people there. You don't fit in. The music's too loud or something, okay? Another one has the best coffee, but they take a really long time. And then the third one, you don't like their coffee or anything, but sometimes, good morning, Resurgence. Thanks for coming in, everybody. And the third one just is a mix of everything. Which one do you go to? The one that's more convenient that you're just used to? Or do you put yourself somewhere where you belong? Do you find a new coffee shop where everything's just right? Finding the Goldilocks part of your life. Where do you fit in? This might be too hard. This one's too soft. Remember that story of Goldilocks? You can intentionally put yourself into situations where you're in a Goldilocks situation with your job, with career, with future, and planning of how you're going to make it happen, right? And this is where the work comes in. This is where the effort comes in. This is where you will start your self reflection. And you'll indulge in long moments of journaling and long times of just thinking. When you get up, don't go right for your phone. Go right for a coffee. Go right for a place where you can just sit down and rest and take it easy, because you don't have to do anything. And if you feel you don't have the time to do that in the morning, then you're cutting yourself short of living an authentic life. Wake up a little bit earlier. Set a time away. You don't have to go out all the time. To find where your core values lie, you're going to start journaling. You know, as man developed, we found different ways to travel, right? From boats. We always wanted to go somewhere. We always wanted to go on a journey. And people that did, they had diaries and they had journals of what it was like, where they went, the path that they took, what happened on it when they explored. When you write a craft or a mission statement and craft your personal mission statement, you're writing a map with clarity, a map of where you want to go. That's your life journey of where you belong. When you go to your favorite bookstore, maybe go perusing around just your favorite store, your favorite place to walk, a cup of coffee, and drifting back into your good memories and finding areas where you felt you had an impact. Where was that? When was the last time you laughed so hard that your stomach hurt? When was an event, a place where you went to where you were upset that it closed, or it's time to leave, or a get together, a gathering that you had with a friend that you wish was longer? Some of these can help guide you into writing your personal mission statement. It'll help you find where your principles are. It'll help let you know where your purpose that you pick in life, of how it will impact those around you and people that want to be with you, that want to be part of your life. So the one question that you want to ask yourself today is, in this personal statement, I have 3 things to think about. And can you come up with one core value that could be in it right here? A little bit of purpose, a little bit of vision. As you start this slowly, and you put this somewhere where you can read it every day, every night, at lunch, email it to yourself, have that purpose. And you can put things in there as barricades for, Ray, all that sounds fine and dandy, but I got a bad boss, or I work with somebody that's so negative that it adds to there. And this is where your purpose and your mission statement can change, because you can write in there how I'm going to deal with X, how I'm going to deal with X, Y, and Z. You're going to deal with it by ignoring it, realizing that other people's statements and comments about you or what you do are their problem, not yours, right? Everybody wants political correctness. Everybody only gets mad about things that offend them. Those are people that aren't focusing on themselves. And you can think to yourself, when you come across these people, that's too bad they don't focus on themselves. Because when something gets you upset, that's on you. When you make somebody upset, that's really on them. And sometimes you don't need their feedback. You need yours. So in your personal mission statement, you can write in there that one of the things that I'm going to do is, every time that I feel that I'm offended or something happens to me at work or someone says anything, I'm going to say, gee, they have a problem. I'm glad I'm not them. There you go. That's all you have to do. I'm glad I'm not them. I'm glad I'm not them, because you can't let them nudge you in the direction that you're going. These are the people that want to say stuff to you at work. They want to interrupt. They want to put that little ripple in your life. You can't allow that. These are things that are going to make you resilient. So when you're crafting your personal mission statement, you'll put in there that you won't tolerate it, because there's no room for that in your life. That is somebody with an issue. That's somebody that has a problem. And sometimes they could be attention seekers. But let me just help you with a comprehensive guide when it comes to cockadoodle bullshit and what people do. When they see that you're doing well and they notice the changes, more respect will come out. They'll respect you a little bit more. And you can add, Brian, get this Jared guy out of here. You can take your personal mission and work on it and do something that will be good for other people. No, just get him out of here, Brian. I don't need that guy in here. And that's exactly what I'm talking about there. So on some of your on your mission, you can't. There's going to be people that just want to mess you up. And what they want to do, it's like they see a shiny car, they want to scratch it. They're envious. They're seeing something in you that they want to be. And that's the mask. That's where when we have problems, where we want to expose ourselves to what fears that we have. And to help yourself with this comprehensive guide that you're going to craft out today, this mission statement that you make about yourself, you have to be honest. You have to reflect into it, to not have tolerance and things. It's interesting that we had somebody heckling us right as we were talking about when you want to make changes and boundaries, the hecklers come in. Like we've always done this. This is what we've always done. This is where you have boundaries. That's probably the first time I've ever had somebody kicked out of here. But the thing is, you got to have boundaries. You can't have somebody in the middle disturbing your life, disturbing where you're getting to, disturbing your train of thought. And you can maintain your train of thought through journaling. When you feel that you're on the right page, then start writing it down. When you feel like this is where I want to be in my life, start writing that down. When you went somewhere today for the first time and you really enjoyed it because you were greeted by somebody and somebody was there, they remembered your name when they left, you introduced them, you write that down as a place where you belong. There's a lot of places you belong and you may never even been there before. And it could be a hiking trail, it could be an old antique store, it could just be a lonely road where it really opens up your mind and your views. And what if you really don't have the time to journal? That's where you make time, Michelle. And if you honestly don't have time to journal, then you would almost honestly not have time to. You might want to ask. I'll tell you a good journaling prompt, not to be a smarty pants. Why do you feel you don't have time to journal? You don't have 3 minutes. You don't have just a place where you can just sit for 3 to 5 minutes and write down some thoughts and indulge into some of your thoughts, to do some self-reflection of where your life is. Not even once a week, once a month. A daily would be good. And I talk about a lot of journaling. Let me tell you, besides doing this and a podcast and some stuff that I do, I run a construction company, I run a family. I volunteer at different places. And one thing I have is I always have time to journal because I have time for myself, which we make a priority. And and we're used to not having time for things. And there might be a hidden fear there where I've had a lot of loss and quick. I care for GMA and dementia and a husband with brain damage. I'm sorry about all of that. Um, but as you sit there caring with people, you can always have a little notepad. And I've just recommended to try to fit it in. If you have, even if you just have somebody good to talk to and try to put yourself, it sounds like you're in a lot of places and take care of a lot of people and you have a good heart. And just to try to take that little extra moment to stay up a little later, maybe get up a little earlier. Um, and my mom had 11 kids. One of them had cerebral palsy, diabetes, and at the end of her life was blind with kidney failure, and a husband with cancer. And a lot of things happened. Um, you were discharged because you were fine. Just organizing your thoughts, like Brian's saying right there, can help you with some inner peace. You can find peace and realize that sometimes in life we're in situations that we didn't volunteer for, and it's a test. It's a test of character. And just gladly take these tests on, stay resilient, and know that that's not the rest of your life, and that sometimes we're in situations that we have to deal with. Um, and there's no getting out of them. And it's what you're telling yourself about these things in your life. I've had bad times in my life. I've had, I've gone through a divorce. I've had bankruptcies. I've had a lot of things. A lot of wind blow leaves off of my tree. There's no doubt about it. Um, Yeah, there you go. Straighten your crown is what you're saying. Yeah, man, you can just wear it proudly and know that you're doing the right thing, and make yourself at home with yourself, and just realize that everything's going to be okay, and put it in the hands of the upper power. And try to work on. We have a podcast that you can hit our link tree and read. If I say anything that resonates to you, I don't ask for anything. I do this because it helps me, and I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I can tell you there's a lot of power into writing out your plan. There's a lot of power into writing down your goals and your plans and writing down a mission statement. And that's horrible. I'm sorry to hear all of that. But sometimes when you're evaluating your life, you're going to have a realization of whether you're choosing your life, or that it's just happening to you. Of course, we're not going to choose bad things, but how we react to things and how we're going to do the things that we're going to do, or what makes us capable. Journaling for a peace of mind is never going to hurt. It's never going to be a bad thing to do. As a matter of fact, writing a personal statement and a vision into your life is going to give you more clarity. You're going to define who you are, where you belong, and find out what your essentials are. And I hope that you're giving yourself credit and the essentials that you need for your peace of mind, and your willing and help. And I'm not going to say we all been there, but you know what the world lacks anymore is just empathy, having empathy for people. And I definitely have empathy for folks. But remember, sometimes our life's not just about us, it's about sometimes our loved ones and the impact and the purpose that they had in our life. And that's it. God's honest truth is the fact that even if you think he's not here, or something happened, or how could this happen, remember, he's always on site. He's the word that you hear that makes you feel better. He's the grounds that you can walk on, and he is always on site everywhere. God is everywhere in our life. And when people sometimes wonder how bad things can happen, remember, all we know is what to come, as he promised us a good afterlife. But here, he's on site everywhere. And there's some stuff, and I don't get into this a lot, but in my personal belief, you can't have good without bad. You can't have hot without cold. There has to be a different extreme and where you need to be. You can't have easy without hard, and you can't have like these opposites and this and that. When you misconstrue whether or not there's an existence of a good higher power, and all you think about are bad things that happen, then you might not want to believe. But if you want to think about catharsis, which I talk about, where there's a silver lining everywhere, where anything that possibly happened to you up to this moment is what made you who you are. And it's what we focus on in our life is what makes us who we are. It makes us who we are in life. And we want to express our gratitude to ourselves, and express the gratitude of people in our lives that's made positive change. And having a purpose in your life is good to have. Having the ability and the time to take to journal. Um, Thank you so much, Michelle. It is, you got to have a higher power, and journaling, I think, will help you a lot. It's just something to journal down, and there's no right or wrong way. Nobody reads it other than you, but there's no right or wrong way. And sometimes reading what we journal sometimes we can look at it and realize that it's not as big as we make it. Of course, some of your problems are big. I understand that. But you can manage it. You can do it. You're not going to be tested with nothing that you can't handle in life. So, getting back to how we got to week 5 and what this whole 12 week is about, we started with an episode, which was the week 1 of realizing that if we're on autopilot or not. And do you remember where we were living by default? Meant that, where are we? We're right here. We're living by default autopilot, where we're unaware, unintended, accidental, by chance, no time for self. We're not thinking, we're not planned, we're unexpected, we're unforeseen. And no matter where we are in life, we could always try to get the time for ourselves, not just let chance happen to us, or unconsciousness or subconscious or unintended. That's where we're unaware. That's where life is happening to us and we're not living our life. When we're living our life and we're doing a life by design, we're calculated, we're doing things deliberately, we're writing, we're journaling. These are some of the words. We're living our moments and we're having feelings in life. And whether the moments are good or bad, sometimes we got to live outside of our head. And we got to experience life. And not everything's going to be a bed of roses in life. And we know that, right? But we want to stay conscious. We want to be on purpose. And we want to be intended in our life. And that's living by design. And as we go through the weeks that we've gone through, the last several weeks, it takes us to this. It led us here. It's putting us on a trajectory to live a better life. And how is that possible? I'll tell you how that's possible. It's because week 1, we're going to wake up from autopilot. When you have days where it's your day off, but you don't feel rested. It's where you always feel you're producing and you're so busy at work, but then there's just another shitload of work to do for you where you don't feel accomplished. It's when you come home and you just need to just decompress for a minute, but you really don't, or your phone rings, or you got to do something else. That is living by default. That's just an autopilot. You're just this robot that happens to you. And so what it means to live intentionally is to understand the difference, that you're not living by design. It's to understand that I'm not living for my essentials in life and what I need mentally. I'm not living outside of my head. I'm living in my head. I have repeat thoughts and they're on autopilot. And your subconscious is keeping those fears. It's blocking you. So that was week 1, right? That's what the very first week was about when I got into this 12-week series, to help you craft a good life, to help you craft a life that is intentional, to where you can live it. That was week 1, was just awareness if that's how you feel in life. Have you ever made plans and then immediately regretted them? Have you ever agreed to do something for somebody on a Saturday or Sunday and then fucking hated the fact that you agreed to it? That's where boundaries come in. This is where we automatically say yes because we got to feel like it's time to start saying yes to yourself and no to that kind of life. Week 2, we went on about identity and self-awareness of who you really are. Can you live intentionally and know yourself? What are you intentionally? What part of your week is absolutely intentional? Planned and crafted by just you. That involves where you feel authentic. That involves vitality. That involves the authenticity. That involves laughter and comfort. And where you fit in, that takes effort to do. Because living like that takes effort. It takes effort in the journaling, and it takes effort and thought into it. And it doesn't happen overnight. But eventually, if you start doing it, whether you like it or not, your brain changes, because then your subconscious starts doing it without you knowing it. Because right now, if you live in autopilot, your subconscious is keeping you there and without you knowing it. But when you take, and science says, when you take absolute full control of your mind and start crafting your mission statement and start understanding core values and start understanding your essentials, you can start living a life created by you, created by you of how you thought, the way you think, what your habitual thinking is. This all will happen to you. Those are the side effects of this. The side effects of better sleep, better self-control, better control over your feelings and emotions, using more reasoning, shutting up more when you should listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So 2 was about just honest self-awareness, being self-aware. And that's where I used to fail. I used to emotionally be charged, and it would be lightning speed ahead of reason. We have to understand that we create our own problems. Week 3, we talked about core values and what truly matters to you. What core values that we learned in our life. And they go, not a beliefs, it's not a moral. A value is going to be something that can change as we go on. What we value in other people, but what we want to see in ourselves. And if there's somebody that you would want to be like, you can always interview them. You can always say, how did you get there? What did you do? And you're going to realize they self-reflected. They took time to think about their vision and not someone else's vision. They took time to ignore those that are energy leakers. These are people that come into your life and they realize that you're a good person. They just start asking for favors, and they finally get to a point where they mentally and physically drain you. So our core values, what truly matters to you. And then the week before this, week 4, and why we're here today, to craft your personal mission statement, was purpose and vision. Start forming a personal sense of your life purpose, not fantasies. What are your goals? And if you have a dream that's not a fantasy, that's a goal, and you write that down, now that becomes an action plan. And that's where we craft our personal mission statement. And remember the weeks I just told you of where we are, they're right here. Here you go. What are core values? To write and craft your personal mission statement, you need your core values and principles in life. What's important to you? What are just deal breakers? Purpose and impact. What's your purpose and what impact you want it to have? We know you want it to have an instant impact on your life of how you feel and how you're going to move, and to feel authentic, to put yourself into an area, possibly a career, maybe a neighborhood, somewhere where you want to be. Maybe you need to take 2 weeks off and want to go on the biggest height and climb the biggest mountain. Very doable, very reachable, right? The purpose and the impact that has. An impact of going on a major trip and journaling will have an impact on you and then others, and would influence others that if you did it, I could do it, right? Because you can do anything. And then your vision. Your vision's going to be around your strengths as I can do this. You're going to have self-reflection. And then your purpose is to guide yourself with clarity. My purpose is to blank. And then you're going to go up to using your core values. So your mission statement is a declaration of how you want to live and how you want to be. When we're looking over at our other board over here, that's what it is. So your mission statement, declaration, core values, purpose, goals, and it's a compass to guide with clarity. And sometimes that's going to change. You're going to change because you're the author, and you're going to change it as your life goes forward of where you want to be. If there's something you're interested in, get a book, dedicate reading time to it. Nobody will have an impact on your life like you will journaling. Let me tell you, nothing. When you start journaling and you start writing stuff down and you wake up from autopilot and you realize, you know what? I can go where I feel authentic. I can be myself. There's nothing wrong with you being yourself in life. There's only one of you. And it doesn't matter what other people say, what other people drive, where other people work, or who's advancing at work, or who's doing this or that, or who's dating this person, or all this cockadoodle bullshit. What matters is that you're aware, that you're self-aware, and you have connection with the best person you'll ever meet, and that'll be your best friend, which is yourself. And it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. Because right now, you're going to just forgive yourself for everything. Hey, I'm going to just move forward. That was my problem then. That's not my problem now. And if you tell yourself that a lot and you craft a personal mission statement and you put it somewhere where you read it every day, believe me, your subconscious, now your habitual thinking will take over. Be like, wait a minute, I'm in a new direction. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not like that. If you had a marriage fuck you up, a friendship fuck you up, a job fuck you up, I don't care what it was, an accident fuck you up, you can rewrite the script. You can totally rewrite the script in your life at any time that you want to through journaling. And a good start is to craft your personal mission statement. Understanding your core values, understanding your purpose, understanding your vision, understanding things in your life that are going to change you, and having a good understanding of your authentic self and where you belong. And where you belong is going to take boundaries. It's going to take self-control. It's going to take mental thought. And let me tell you, when I worked on this in my life, there was fucking hurdles everywhere, things that happened. Then I asked myself that one question: am I going to allow what others say or what other people think really affect my purpose, my vision, and the impact that I want to make? No, you're not. And you're not going to either, because you're going to realize that the best of you is still to come. The best of you is still to come. And I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There is improvement that can be made. As long as you're breathing in air and you're taking in oxygen, you are a tool that you can sharpen any time that you want to. So never question that I'm too old, it's too late, I don't have the right job, I don't fit in here. Because you know what? State parks are free. The air you breathe is free. There's so many things in your life that you can do and that you can appreciate. Take yourself on a picnic and a little book and start questioning yourself. Start questioning and challenging what your purpose is and what input that you want in these ears. What input do you want? What do you want to hear? What do you want to listen to? When can you just release and live a life and not be dissatisfied, be satisfied? And these are all things that cost nothing. They just take a little bit of your time. And if you don't have time for that, then that basically means you don't have time for yourself and that you're doing too much for others. If you just can't kick back for a minute to take time for yourself on a 30-minute walk, no music, no nothing, and just listen to your head, live outside of it, notice things around it, start editing your life for tomorrow's action. Start playing out tomorrow in your head. Start thinking, tasting, and feeling the future that you want to create. Because when you start looking for things and you start putting things out into the universe, those things are looking for you. And it's how you go about it. And you don't get it with grudges. You don't get it with hate. You don't get it with fear. You get it with authenticity and a pure heart where you yourself feel forgiven and you've forgiven other people in your life and you've just let things go. You've just put yourself on a plane where you're just hovering in life. And that is when you're waking up from autopilot. That's when you've crafted your personal mission statement. And those little bumps of air and those little air turbulence that you feel while you're hovering through your life, that's all they are now. Because you're no longer going to let that get to you. These little people that want to irritate, the little people that don't want to pay, they don't want to pay their bills, the ones that are going to say things about you. So identifying of who you really are is going to be the biggest part of your mission statement. And who are you? And how do you find out who you are? You self-reflect. Most of my friendships have been like this. My how I deal with my family's like this. How I would like my friendships to be would be like this. How I would like to deal with my family would be like this. So we have what we're doing and we have what would be ideal, and then we would have how it would just be perfect and it would fit us. We've had a 4-week course one time about, I think it was boundaries, living with boundaries in life, and how kind boundaries are. Boundaries are an invitation to be in somebody's life. You can be my friend, but here's my boundaries. It's on our YouTube. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, and one of the things is that we all remember as we were kids or went to somebody's house and, hey, you got to take your shoes off before you come into our house. See, that's a boundary. And the next time you went there, what did you do? You took your shoes off. It's kind of nice to walk around in your socks, right? I don't do that at my house. But you want to remember what you were exposed to. And what you're exposed to, you're going to find are everything that you've exposed yourself to. And there's things that we unintentionally, but intentionally have grown accustomed to. These are some things with how somebody might talk to us, how we might get treated, how what we have to do in order to go to Uncle Ben's house or this or that. There's things that we dread, like the fucking one dinner for somebody else that celebrates a holiday you've never heard of at Aunt Sally's house that you go to every year. Even your kids don't want to go. Nobody wants to go, but we do that. Why? Why do we do that? So we want to live an authentic life. And to get through life challenges and difficult situations, sometimes it's a test to refine our values of what's important to us. Think of it like that. How do I do this? Am I going to pass this test? This isn't something that I want to do. This isn't anything I want to go. And I often find in my life that mainly because I like to talk. Sometimes we will be invited somewhere. I'll go somewhere where I really don't want to. Then I realize I had a good time. You know, it wasn't so bad. So a lot of times, what would I have to change here is my mindset. My mindset, just because I didn't plan it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a good time. And those are the things that I changed in my life, where I show up more. I'm going to go there more often because you know what? We're honoring somebody else, the way that they feel, what their vision is. And that's where we have empathy and respect for different people. People with different perspectives don't deserve any judgment from us. They don't deserve being looked down on, and they don't deserve being treated anything less than the human that they are. We have to understand different perspectives, and not everybody we're going to agree with. But just because we don't agree with somebody or they have a different culture or perspective or something doesn't mean what we judge. This is where true authenticity because we're not some casual, meaningless part of evolution. We're created by love. And the force and the God that created us doesn't want us to hate. It doesn't want it. I'll tell you, the cost of your life and to go downhill and for this to never work is to not give empathy and not to understand other people's perspectives in life. To have a bunch of divisive rhetoric in your life that just tears apart communities, that tears apart other people, workplaces, other people's cultures. We all have a right to live. So how do you go about it? You go about it with kindness, and you go about it with empathy. And you go about it with trying to answer things that you don't understand. And if you don't understand it, you can ask questions. You can look it up. You want to stay true to yourself. You want to stay true to your neighbor. And you want to stay true and notice that everybody's on a journey. But you know what? How many people really have a mission statement in life that just really sit down and write a mission statement? I'll tell you, the ones that do are the people that you see that are highly successful. People that hold a smile all the time. And if you don't feel you can do that, you can. The next time you go into someplace, just hold your grin. Just hold a nice smile. And if you do that 3 to 5 times a day, then you'll naturally start smiling. And then you'll feel better. Just to put a smile on your face, to know that you got this. You ever tell you that I got this? This is going to be hard. I have to go to court about something. Is that my life? No, it's not. I have to pay these taxes. Is that my life? No, it's not. These are all things that we have to do in life. These are all things, man. And when you're living intentionally, you're intentionally going to be aware that what's the old term? Shit happens, right? Shit happens. But we have built resilience, good framework. We have clarity. And we know that the word I like to use is catharsis. Once it passes, It's like the clouds in the sky. Blue skies shall return. The worst storm or tornado you ever seen in your life, guess what's happened since then? There's been blue skies, still days, no wind. That's what our minds are like. And when you're focusing only on the storms, that's all you're going to get. When you're focusing on the gratitude and asking for more of the blessings, that's all you're going to get. I mean, it's pretty much that simple. So you're going to protect your mental space by crafting your personal mission statement that starts off with my purpose is to blank. That would be your journaling prompt today. My purpose is to blank. Put some core values in it. And your purpose, remember, our purpose in life is to protect your mental space, for me to be happy, for me to feel authentic, for me to get my essentials. I have to. And I'll tell you some old ones of mine. And I'm not going to say I still do this all the time, but mine would be to read one good book a month, to go on a vacation. My best one used to be to call my mom every day, and my mom passed away in 2019, so that was hard. And then knowing that we're taking care of people that aren't around, but I believe that my mom's still here all the time, and I feel that I can still write her a personal message in my journal and know that it's read, not hope that it is, but I know that she's around. So there's people that have had an impact on our life. And the most impactful person can be yourself. And the best person that you could ever meet in life is yet to come. And that's you. And that's your best friend. And you're going to understand yourself. And if you have a dog, um, look at yourself the way your dog would. And I got a good, um, this is my dog cup. I don't know where I got it. The simple joy of being with people you love. Can you be with yourself and love yourself? And then some little things. This is advice from a dog. Ask for what you want loudly if necessary. Go after what you want. Unleash your talents and learn new tricks often. I had this little video one time of my dog, and I was talking about his what his hobbies are. And his hobby is wake up, play, eat, take a nap. And those are his hobbies. And we too can have a simple life. So a dog is living for its essentials. And we too are in charge of how we feel about ourselves. And we want to care for ourselves like we would anybody that they're so in the present moment. Man, if that isn't the truth, they are. And you want to stay in the farm girl. Thanks for being in here. I like seeing your name here. Um, but it's important. Um, so make today the best day that you can make it. If you at least consider some of the things that I say I do this to boost your life. So you can see the beauty in changing your mind for the good. There's beauty in it. Thank you so much, Farm Girl. I love that. Man, that's what gets me going right there. But there's beauty into what we talk about. There's beauty into discovering your values, and there's beauty into discovering the human mind without the influence of others. When it's coming out of your mind and you're journaling, that is going to be impactful to you because only you know you. There's only one of you. So you're already taken. So you might as well perfect it. Put the icing on. Put the sprinkles on yourself. Realize that today is going to be a good day. And most importantly, realize you got this. You have to no longer live by default. You don't want to have the habitual fears in your head. You want to overcome a lot of things in your life, and you want to make an introduction to yourself. Remember, I'm trying to think, um, where are you going in life? But there is one of identity and self-awareness. Who are you really? Who are you really? Hi, I'm Ray. We know when I'm not a doctor. We know I'm not a therapist. I'm a construction guy, but I'm somebody who authentically likes to talk about making yourself better starting up here. That's who I am. Unfortunately, I battle with cigarette smoking and overexposure to caffeine and coffee. I wake up super early in the morning. I go to bed every chance that I get early, and I love to take a nap. There's nothing better in life than taking a nap. And when I nap, my dog's usually somewhere around. These are some things I know to be true about myself. I don't like outside noise. I shut my phone off all the time, especially in the evenings. I don't like my phone to be on the weekends. And I don't want my life to be interrupted um, with cockadoodle bullshit. And what I mean by that is, other people problems and interference. You have to stop that in your life. My life used to be about that because I always had trailers, tools, things like that. And everybody always needed a little bit of something. Hey, man, I don't mind helping, but you got to put a limit on to what you give about yourself, not leak too much of your energy and be authentic and do for others what you know that they would do for you. And, if you go back to some of the simple rules of kindergarten, and how simple life was. And we were listening to a lot of things back then where in kindergarten, there was people that still believed in all the imaginary things in life, especially, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, this and that. And those are stories that are based on spirit and good. And in our life, um, the only superhero we need is to pay attention to our mind. Those little nudges that you feel like I should do something else. I feel bored right now. I wish I would have what? I wish I would have done this. Well, you still can. You still can live any way that you want to. You can edit your life any way that you want to, write it any way you want to. I'm going to be back here Friday morning. Friday morning, we're going to pretty much talk about the same thing. I just think anybody, if you want to, write your mission statement of who you are, and crafting it up. And this is going to be a usable mission statement. And you want to put in it some things that you can anchor on a daily basis. Like every day, I just want to be honest. Regardless, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything anymore. If this is it, this is what happened, this is the way it is. You got to be honest with yourself. And next week, we're going to get into from purpose to practice. And we're going to set aligned, meaningful goals, not random resolutions. There's a big difference. Random resolutions, we don't want to resolve issues in our life. We want permanent fixes of things in our life. And we're going to do that as we get into next week. After we craft our mission statement, there's going to be shit in the way. We're going to need to figure out how to plow it out of there and turn our life into something spectacular, which is going to happen, which is going to happen. We're going to get there before week 12. And it's going to be really, really good. Any suggestions on what our next uh, series should be about? Send it to myself or Brian if there's something you want to hear us talk about or do. I'm glad I'm here for you all, not for me, and it does help me a lot. And I want to thank everybody that came in here. Thanks, Farm Girl, and everybody. If I didn't say hi to you, I apologize. I'm glad about everybody who came in. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.